Hey, Masai, how you doing?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good, man. Did you get up this morning thinking you were going to trade Kyle Lowry?
It's a great question. Honestly, we didn't know which way it was going to go because we've really talked about looking at this team in every direction that it could go, and we came to a point where we were comfortable with any direction that it went. Honestly, to see all the circus yesterday, I also didn't feel like maybe that was the right way to go, like in one way or the other, like it seemed surreal a little bit. But yeah, we came in today looking at it both possible ways.
And now that he's back, what are your long-term plans for him, or do they go beyond the end of this season?
Well, we'll talk about them. I think we'll talk about them when the time comes at the end of the season. But I think we all know the respect, and um, I think the sentiment about Kyle and this on this ball club and what he's done for not only the city, the team, the country, the league. I think he signifies plenty. That um, yeah. So I think we will. As we've always said with our team, like we will visit that at the end of the season.
Got it. All right. Thanks, Masai. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Michael Grange.
Hey, Masai. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, man.
Yeah. Um, how is your team better today than it was yesterday? And if it's not better today, what have you done that positions you to be better um, next season or beyond?
Um, I this season has been up and down. We've been displaced, obviously, and um, had a slow start, 2-8, and then I think we went 14-6 or something like that, and then 2-11 again. Like, so up and down before um, the health and safety protocol officer knocked on our door um, a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, I should say, became tough for us. Like we had climbed all the way back, maybe to possible fifth, fourth position, and then we find ourselves in this position again. We got, I think, a young player in Gary Trent Jr., who's, I think, promising, restricted, who has really, really good upside, and I think that's the future. Our core, like the core of our team is what we want to build. We have a pick. We don't know which way, like it goes. It goes this year. We have to. I think making our team better, we just have to keep our options open, and our options playing this season, giving it all we have, because I think the guys deserve that. Is it well? It didn't go our way, and we have to go a different direction. I think somewhat the organization would deserve that, and then also have flexibility in the summer. So yeah, there are different ways that I think we could get better.
The how close did a deal come? I guess you can't really share, but did you feel as the day went on, let alone from when you woke up in the morning, but as 3 o'clock approached, was there any moment in there that you said, okay, this deal might be on the table, and if it happens, we're going to do this?
Grange, is the trade deadline is incredible, and leading up to it is something of you've never is such a event, and every I know general manager of personnel people, front office, will tell you about it. Like there are 1 million things we talk about, and you do one, and sometimes you do none, and all over the place, different places. And did we come close, like to doing something? Maybe in my mind I might say yes, but maybe on the other team it wasn't so close, like, so you don't even know, like it might be one on our board, and on their board it was 10, so you never know. But yeah, there are a couple of things that were that it seemed like could get done, but we've learned that a lot of times these things, a lot of them don't happen too.
Appreciate it, Masai. Keep well, and nice to see your face.
Thank you. Thanks, Grange.
Thanks, Michael. We'll go to Doug.
Hello, Masai. How are you, sir?
Dougie, what's happening?
Not much. What's going on with you?
I'm good, man. Hanging out.
Good. Hey, how much did the whole weirdness of this season factor into today? Like being relocated, not knowing what your team is because it hasn't been together, and it's living in Tampa and it's living through the pandemic. How much did the strangeness of the season factor into your decisions?
Yeah, Doug, there's a lot of it that really factored into what we do, and by this I mean this team has persevered. Like this team has endured, and these guys, from the players, coaches, everybody has fought. Being displaced here, we went through the health and safety protocols, like we all know what that meant or what that means. And it's not the easiest thing to go through. It's been a very challenging year, but I respect what these guys do and what our organization has done, because there's no complaining, like it's go out and play. We've played all road games basically, being displaced, and it's a challenge, Doug. People have families, people have many things they have to think about, in situations like this. And how does that factor into us? Well, you see it. You saw our start, you saw the middle, and you saw where we are now. And how do you judge a team from that? I saw a couple of weeks where we said we were, like, oh, the Raptors are back, like they're back to competing and being, and then all of a sudden, like you see the air gets taken away from you. You don't have 3 or 4 of your guys, and it's difficult, like, so very, 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 very challenging, honestly. But our jobs is to come and keep working, players keep playing, coaches keep coaching, and try to win on and off the court. This is why we're put in this position, and to be honest, we're blessed to be in the NBA.
At some point, do you think you owed this group a chance to play the rest of the year together, given what it's gone through to this point?
Yes, they fight. They fight together, and you see they like to play together. And yeah, there's been ups and downs. You guys have seen it, and there's been the challenges. But at the end of the day, when you come into that locker room with these guys, and I see Kyle and Fred and Oji and Pascal and all of them, really come together, and what they want to do, the experience they have had together of winning. We're lucky, we're blessed that we've been a winning organization, and hopefully we can continue that way in some way or the other, and have a good vision for this ball club to continue that. And there might be stops along the way and adversity along the way, but I think the overall culture, we need to keep going, and these players are a big and huge part of it.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Good to see you again, sir.
Thanks, Doug.
We'll go to Eric Corrine.
Hey, Masai, good to see you, and thanks for taking the time tonight. How you doing?
I'm good, Eric. That's a big afro you got. Did we hear? Can they hear?
I think his fire alarm's going off.
Oh.
Sorry, the fire alarm went off, and I.
Uh-oh.
Okay. We'll go to Josh.
Lots of pressure now. No fire alarm here, at least. Good to see you, Masai. Thanks for doing this. I know you're not going to tell us what was out there for Kyle, obviously, but having watched him for the last 9 years and knowing how valuable he is, were you surprised by what the market looked like for him?
No, well, we're going to be biased in some kind of way. You know, you always are with your players, but for Kyle, we're extremely biased because of what he does and what he stands for. You know, I talk to some people and they say, you know, oh, we know Kyle, you know, like from how many years ago, but you know, like I mean, we know Kyle from many years ago. Kyle has grown in our organization and become such an unbelievable person, player, you know, and he signifies or is a symbol of what you want, you know, like as an athlete, you know, going to compete every day. And so, yes, when you look at what's out there, you know, it's difficult sometimes, I think, even for those teams, you know, like to see this value. And, you know, if we were going to do something, we were honestly going to do something right by Kyle, you know, like, so you're limited in what you can do that way, you know, like with the teams that you can do something with. But that's the respect we have for him, and we have to we've come a long way, you know, like, and I think we owe him that respect as a player, as a person.
In Norm's case, it sounded like there were a lot of teams that expressed interest, and understandable given how well he's played this year. Considering what he's done both recently and over the last 6 years, how tough was that decision to move on from Norm?
Really tough, you know, like, and first of all, I want to thank Norm, his family, his mom. You know, they've been incredible people, and he grew up in our organization. He's a draft pick of ours, you know, and that touches you, you know, that it's not an easy thing to do. The other thing I'll say is, as much as we try to develop players and make players better, Norm made himself better. You know, like you see where his game went and the level he took it to, and that's what brought all the popularity and the value out there in what Norm can bring to so many teams. And Portland showed that, and we saw something there that we wanted to bring in a couple players, you know, that could help our ball club and maybe dial back a little bit with a younger player that's restricted, and bring in a veteran player like Rodney Hood, you know, to come and help us with shooting and in the locker room too. With Norman, it's the most difficult thing to do, because all these guys, you look at all the players, young players that grew up here, and they're out there in all different places, you know, like we're proud as an organization that we raised them here, you know, and now they're men and they're going out to do even better things.
Great. Thanks, Masai. Be well.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Eric. I think he gave me the thumbs up.
My upstairs neighbor has no ventilation. That happens about once a week. It's very frustrating. I know you can't speak salaries with Kyle, so you can't do that with us, but I'm just wondering, in general terms, do you see a realistic world in which you guys and Kyle make sense together going forward in this year? Not necessarily a probable world, but like, do you think that's like a possible world?
Going forward, you mean like, I didn't understand.
Past this year.
Say,
Past this year.
Oh, past this year. There are all possibilities, you know, Eric, honestly, you know, we have that respect for him, you know, that way, and as a player again, and I say as a person, this organization too could be in a different place, you know, like at that time, you know, we could be working through you never know when you go through. I don't want to call it a rebuild, but sometimes we have to look years ahead, a couple years ahead, and but yeah, I think in the off season those things will be discussed.
And with Norm, you just alluded to his popularity on the market. I assume that meant many different types of offers as well as just offers in general. What did you like about this scenario in which you get a more proven player than instead of a draft pick? Why did you like this particular scenario the most?
Well, we got two players, and Rodney's more proven, and I think Gary Trent is I think 22-year-old player with lots of upside. I think, and shooter, defender. I think fits the core team. And that's what we're excited about. But I think it works both sides, right? Rodney's a little bit of an experienced player, and then and a veteran player, and then a young player coming up in Gary Trent Jr.
Thanks, Masai. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. We'll go to Tim Bontemps.
Hello, Masai. Hope you're doing well down there.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Busy day for you, I know, obviously, but is it safe to say that you ultimately decided at 3 o'clock that whatever comes this summer was going to provide as much or more value in terms of what you were going to do with Kyle than what you could get today? And that's why he's still on the team?
There's so much, thinking, thought, a process that goes through all these things, and I know, it comes down to that, to that 3 o'clock deadline, but honestly, our team can go in many different directions. I keep saying it, and we are comfortable with whatever direction we go. Maybe we lost a chance here, but we also think we gained a chance in some other things, going forward. So this team is, especially with what we've gone through this year, could pivot in many different directions, and this is where we find ourselves now.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. We'll go to Sirat from Yahoo Sports.
Hey, Masai, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to see your face.
Good to see you too.
So I was wondering if there were any moments, obviously there's been a ton of adversity for you guys this year, but any moments that you really feel like Kyle was the one to shepherd you guys through them?
He's always the one that shepherds us through, through these moments. To be honest, he's just been a strength and a backbone for this team. You see, we have a lot of young players, and his leadership, along with Fred, along with the other guys, they wheel us through, and there have been tough times when we could have given up, collapsed. There have been times when it's not been very pleasant, to be honest. Having guys locked in protocol and not being around, and uncertainty, times even when they should have been relaxing, during All-Star, guys were stuck in rooms, this is not pleasant at all, and it's a hard time for them to go through, but I know everybody is dealing with it around the world and around the league. But we're just talking about our situation and how we deal with it. And he's been a strength for us. And it's not only like with the players, with the staff, with the organization in general. And we appreciate that.
Thanks, Masai.
Thank you. Thanks, Aaron.
We'll go to Steve Simmons.
Hi, Masai. So much talk now and today about next season and this summer and what comes next for you. Can you confirm now that beyond this season, you're a Toronto Raptor?
How did I know you would be the one to ask this question?
Because you don't answer it. That's why I
No,
asked.
I don't answer it. I'm gonna answer it right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll visit this at the end of the season at some point. It's good. It's good enough answer, isn't it?
I worry about you.
Why?
I like to know certain things, like you're here, and I don't have to worry about who's running the Raptors or anything like that.
We'll be fine. Raptors will be fine.
Thanks, Steve. We'll go to Ryan Wallstead.
Masai, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
I was going to ask a variation of that, to be honest, but just how, with your future kind of uncertain, did that play any impact on what you did or didn't do today at all?
Nah, no impact, nothing. You know, like, hey, this is my job. I'm a Raptor. This is, love this team, love everything about this organization, you know, and we will visit at the end of the season, and I think that's fair on every side. But I've never ever for once thought, you know, going into a day like this, I think about what I'm doing or myself. It's not the way like these things work. It's not the way I was raised. It's not the way I look at things at all. You know, this Raptors. It doesn't matter what happens. Raptors is inside here. Yeah, it's in the blood. This is what we live. This is what we do. You know, and I love doing it. I love it to death. And today, it's part of the spirit. It's part of everything we are. You lose some, you win some. You're going to, you know, gain some sometimes. Sometimes you're going to gain ground. Sometimes you're going to lose ground. But at the end of the day, I know this organization is a winning organization, and it's a winning culture we want to build.
Thanks, Masai.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll go to Gary Washburn from the Boston Globe.
Hey, Masai. You just had a title team a couple of years ago, but every general manager, either one lets title teams get old and kind of disintegrate on their own, or they start making moves before that happens. How tough of a decision as a GM is to kind of move pieces from a team that just a couple of years ago won it all, but it's kind of the reality of your job?
It is tough. It's very tough. I think you saw it last summer, you know, like you can still see that we feel it even from, you know, pardon me for mentioning players that play for other teams, but Serge or Mark, you know, like they were very dear to us, you know, like, and you see, takes a toll. But as you do that, you know, like you have to figure out like what your growth is and your core is. And to be honest with you, we believe in Fred, we believe in OG, we believe in Pascal, we believe in Boucher. We keep growing with our young players. We feel that it's a core, you know, and that can continue to grow and get better. And hopefully we all get back to some kind of normal life, you know, like soon, and get back to really enjoying like what we do and being who we are, you know, because the whole world has suffered this, you know. And but to your point, it is difficult, but we enjoy our jobs, you know, like, and it is the challenge of the job. And to be honest with you, if it comes with winning and it comes with winning a championship and the challenges after, we'll take it, you know, like, and we'll face that challenge.
Thanks, Gary. We've got a few more for you, Masai. We'll start with Stephen from Sportsnet.
Hi, Masai. It's good to see your face.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Given like this is the first year that there is the play-in tournament, you know, like that 7 to 10 spot, like how big a factor did that play into any decisions that you made here at the deadline? Like you mentioned adding to the existing core, so.
Hey, we believe anytime we step on that court that we can win. Yeah, that's just how we are, and that's how we play, and that's how we want to be, you know, like, so however they diagram that tournament, you know, like we'll try to figure it out if we get there. And if we don't get there, then we'll get down the other side too. We'll play in the other little tournament on the other side.
And in regards to Norm, how heavy a factor was his supposed like pending free agency play into maybe making a move here when you traded him?
No, there was good opportunity for him in different in other places, you know, and sometimes we have to pick and choose, you know, where we go forward, or you know, or we stand still, or we build from. And I think Norm has been very incredible to our organization, but I think there were many more opportunities for him out there to realize, you know, at least express himself, you know, even a little bit more, and then his pending free agency, I think, is going to be huge for him.
Great. Thanks a lot, Masai.
Thank you.
We'll go to Moses from Global News.
Hi there, Masai.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you very much. Hope you're staying safe. Just in regards to Kyle Lowry, I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him. I'm sure he was golfing and enjoying the day off, but just have you had an opportunity to talk to him after the 3 p.m. deadline? And can you also tell us if you spoke to the newcomers that are going to be coming in terms of Rodney Hood, as well as Gary Trent Jr., and perhaps maybe their excitement level to bring him on the Raptors train?
I wish Kyle was golfing. Kyle is in the next room here working out, you know, the last time I saw. So yes, I've seen him, spoken to him, and yeah, he was just in here, busting his butt like he usually does, getting ready for tomorrow. And so was Norm, by the way, in here working out, you know, and it's such a great spirit, you know, in the organization, and great to see them. I've spoken to Rodney. I haven't spoken to Gary, something with his phone, I think, but I will be speaking to him in a few minutes. And I think Bobby might have spoken to him, but I will be speaking to him.
And can you tell me, in terms of, you probably mentioned this before, and I had some audio issues here, so forgive me if you've been asked this already and answered it, but in terms of what you saw in free agency or potentially down the road, knowing the situation with a guy like Kyle Lowry, did you feel that you were better off hedging your bets that you can talk to him and maybe he comes back next season or something happens, rather than just give up a guy for the sake of giving him up for the trade deadline?
I think there's going to be, you know, I think good conversations at the end of the season, and we don't know where our team will be at that time, you know, but I am confident that there'll always be conversations, you know, with Kyle. We respect him that way, and we will assess the whole situation of our team and organization at the time, and we'll see how those where that goes at that point.
Thank you.
Two more for you, Masai. We'll go to Vivek Jacob.
Hi, Masai. Thanks for taking the time. Obviously, this team has faced a lot of challenges with being displaced, but you mentioned the importance of culture. And so I was just wondering, how does culture travel? How do you make sure that the culture that you had being in Toronto carries over to Tampa?
Well, I think it starts by, I think the incredible OVO we have here, you know, our practice facility that we try to call home here and replicate what we have back home. But even in adversity, I think we have to be who we are, you know, it's who are you as a person, right? And how you treat these guys. We are displaced, and when you come into places like this, you meet different kinds of challenges. We have been welcomed here by the city, by the teams here in an incredible way, and that helps us with our spirit. Leadership, we have to be, whether it's myself or Bobby or Nick Nurse or Kyle or Fred or Pascal or whoever the leaders are in this organization, or even Larry Tannenbaum, who owns the team, we have to show love, right? Yeah, we have to show respect to everybody and carry at this point. And I think that brings harmony and brings a little bit of comfort in one way or the other. And that's what we've tried to do here. And it's not been easy, but we're also blessed to be in the NBA. You know, I'm blessed to be doing what we love, and I know all of us respect that. And you know what? This shall come to pass at some point. At some point, this will end, and we'll be back in Toronto, kicking butt again.
And lastly, Masai, just, you mentioned the belief that you have in this team going into this deadline. How much of a factor was it believing that this team is better than its record?
So could you say that again? Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, I was just wondering, going into this trade deadline, how much of a factor was believing that this team is better than the record it's shown so?
I think we've seen it that, whether it's a slow start, and I don't want to blame, like moving here or, then we recovered a little bit and then we got hit again. And you look at all the teams, if you go study it and see all the teams that have been hit, like with in this pandemic, it's not easy to get through. It's not easy to get over. Like I think Dallas went through it. I think Washington went through it. I think Miami went through it. They lost games, and then you try to recover. So it's easy. It's difficult, like to judge your team, because look at the last few games we played. The 9-10 games we lost, honestly, like everybody looking at it, we played without 4 or 5 of our guys for most of those games. But you look at those games and you're like, that's not the Toronto Raptors, it. So I don't know what it is like to go through, like this, and then go through all these things and go play on the court. And these players are giving it their all, not just our players, but all players in the NBA. They are giving it their all, and we respect that. We really do. So yeah, it's been difficult to really assess our team, but we continue to do our best in doing it, and our best is believing in our core players and the players that we have.
Thank you, Masai. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vivek. Last one for you, Masai, goes to Sam Amick from The Athletic.
Hello, Masai. Good to see you, sir.
Sam, what's going on?
Not that much, man. You're in way too good a mood for trade deadline day, brother.
What can I do, man?
I wanted to ask you on the Kyle front, and I know you've talked about that from every angle already, but you talked earlier about your history with him, how you value him, and how that might not necessarily reconcile with other teams that are thinking about adding him. And all that being said, when you get to 3 p.m., I do wonder, were you surprised that nobody came up to your quote unquote price? I mean, some of the teams that were in the mix, and this happens every time, when the deal doesn't go down, then all of a sudden the word is that, oh, well, their price was too high. You know what I mean? But there's so much history with you and Kyle. I do wonder, were you surprised that nobody met you and got something done there?
Yeah, like in the heat of the moment, I was surprised, because I to be honest, I viewed him, as somebody that can go and put a stamp on what you're trying to do this year, and the teams are selected. I know if he goes to those places, I know what that, I've lived it, I've seen it, and especially these teams, they have a couple of those guys, so to me, I know what the guy does. I know who he is, and that's the truth, so yeah, we're going to be skewed in some kind of way, or I'm biased in in many ways with the players we have, and I hope I'm pardoned that if I valued him too much, but hey, that's what I believe in today. So we move on from it. 3:00 is done. Everybody go back to your home now, and yeah, do what you have to do. Yeah, it's done.
Right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, Masai, we'll go back to it. One more quick one from C-Rack quickly.
Tell me.
Appreciate it. You mentioned when you were asked about your future, the confidence with which you said, the Raptors will be fine was kind of interesting to me. Like, what is it that gives you so much faith in the organization, regardless of, who's there?
That place is incredible. Like, it's incredible. The ownership, city, that country, everything, it stands for. I wish it on anybody in this world that can experience it. It's incredible. And anybody that can experience my position, God bless you. It's a big blessing, so there's nothing else I can say, about the Toronto Raptors, it's amazing.